there, my friends. Welcome back to another video. Dreadfully Dainty Dips here. Okay, so today we're going to do like a easy peasy glitter ombre mani. Okay, we're going to use Dipomania's Exposed, which is this beautiful chunky glitter. We're going to use a little bit of Dipomania's Clear called Zero to encapsulate. And Dipomania's Odorless Base Coat. I love the odorless base coat for a lot of my ombres because it gives you a little bit more working time than regular dip liquids. So it's more of a slow drying dip liquid. Alright, and you want to just give these powders a good stir. Any of your glitters, you know, if they've been sitting for a while or, you know, traveling around the world through nail mail, always give your powders a good stir or a good shake. Okay, so we're going to lay down in a thin coat our odorless base liquid on the full nail. And then I'm going to take my little eyeshadow brush here, and that's going to help us do what they call the tap method. We're going to tap most of the glitter at our free edge of our nail, and then we want for it to fade up into our cuticle area. So we want most of this chunky glitter at the very tip of my finger. Okay, and this is like a clear dip to glitter ombre. Very beautiful. One of my good nail friends has inspired me to do one of these. She has the best clear ombre to glitter manis. So I felt inspired. So if she's watching, she knows who she is. Hey! Okay, so I'm just taking my cuticle tool here, and this is why I love the odorless base, because I can move these glitters around. Usually with regular dip base coat, it would have already dried by now. So that's really cool. I can, you know, manipulate these glitters, move them where I want, take off what I don't want, and there you go. Flatten them out. We want to make sure that our glitter is nice and flat, because if anything is sticking up when we go to clear encapsulate, it could potentially get filed off, which is just not going to look pretty. Alright, so we're going to repeat the steps. I kind of dip my nail in there to get most of that glitter stuck at the very tip, and then we're going to fade that glitter up to the cuticle area, tapping the glitter onto the nail. Okay, I'm moving things where I want them and where I don't want them. And what's cool about an ombre is, you know, they don't ever have to be perfect. So just take your time, you know, move everything around where you want it. The first layer, as always, with any dip powder, you know, it's not going to be the prettiest. It's not going to be perfect. You might not get full coverage. So, you know, we're not trying to be perfect our first go. Okay, so let's continue on, and I'll be right back. All right, my friends, and we're back for our second round. Okay, so same as the first round, except before we do this, we need to make sure everything is fully dry, and then we're going to give everything a good, nice, like, dust off. You know, brush all the glitter that doesn't want to stick. It's okay, we don't need it. All right, so we're going to lay down our base coat, again, thin layers. Now this time you can either continue to tap on, you know, tap that glitter on there, or you can hand place. So since this is a clear to glitter ombre, I would like the glitter to be a little bit more opaque at the very, very tip of my nail. So I'm taking just different random little sizes of glitters and I'm going to fill in kind of like all those little bitty holes. Okay, and then I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to continue to kind of go over this a little bit more with the tap because the brush kind of picks up more of those little fine glitters. So I was more placing like the chunky glitter, and then now see I'm tapping on and you can see those more finer glitters picking up on the nail. Okay, again we're going to move things where we want them, take off what we don't want, and then make sure we give them a good little squish, little pat down. Okay, and then we're going to keep on. Okay, so we're going to do this for another full second round on all fingers, and I'll be back. All right, so we are finishing up our second round. Now it is time for our clear encapsulation. Okay, so because we are using a glitter, it's not a solid. Anything that stands out could possibly have little nooks and crannies, we want to encapsulate the whole nail in clear, because if we don't, things are going to be kind of left kind of bumpy. It's just not going to look good, so we want to give those glitters a nice little covering and kind of blend them in with our nail. Okay, so let's get this put away. And I'll be using Dipomania's Dipstick, which is filled with clear. If you do not have a dipstick, you can do, this is pretty much just called a pour over method. It's just in this neat little tool. So you can take any clear powder, any clear dipping powder that is, and pour it over your nail. So we're gonna coat the nail, the full nail, with our odorless base. You can pour over a clear powder, or you can dip into a clear powder, just kind of like how we did our glitters. So just make sure everything is nice and fully covered with that clear. It will look kind of like foggy, but once we activate it, it will turn more clear. Okay, make sure everything's kind of still squished down. Make sure that clear dip is getting into all those little grooves, the little nooks, the little crannies. All right, and we're going to continue this for all of our nails, and I'll be back. All right, we are finishing up our clear encapsulation. Okay, this is where we're at. We've done 2 layers of our glitter ombre, 1 layer of our clear. And now it's time to activate. So we're going to go in with our Dipomania activator, give everything a nice healthy coating. This is where that chemical reaction is going to come into play. Our activator is going to harden up the layers, making it nice and strong. So let's throw this on each nail, and then it's time for filing. Alright, so I'm going to show you a little bit on how I file. I do like a good square. So again, filing is going to be what is your, personal preference. What kind of shape do you like? But for me today, we're going to do a short square. So to regain my shaping, I like to go in there, hit my sidewalls, which are the sides of my fingernail. I'm going to straighten those up because dip powder can be kind of lumpy and bumpy sometimes. So file those sidewalls, file your free edge, which is the very tip of your nail. And then I like to thin out my cuticle area because I don't like it really bulky right there. So I like to rock my file back and forth, not trying to hit my cuticles because we don't want to cut up our skin. And I just kind of work my way rounding off from my cuticle to my free edge for the top of my nail. Some people will actually go in there with a buffing block if you have, like a rough dip powder. So I'm just using a 180 grit right now. Alright, so I'm going to round these off. I'm going to do all my nails and I'll be right back. Okay, so once we're done with filing, it's time to go in with our second activation. So yes, we need that second activation because all of our dip liquids work together. Okay, you need your base for your powder, you need your activation to set your base, then you need your activator to set your top coat. Okay, so second round of activator. We're just kind of making sure everything is set and good to go. All right, and then we're going to use our regular Dipomania top coat. So no, I am not using the odorless top coat. That's just my personal preference. The odorless top coat is a little bit more slow drying. Me, of course, I want it dry yesterday. So I'm going to use my Dipomania top coat because it is so quick drying. It's just crazy. If you've used Dipomania's dip liquids, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're going to go in with 3 or less passes on each fingernail, and you want to be kind of fairly quick about it because since you know you laid that activator down, that activator can harden your brush if you leave that brush on that nail too long. Okay, we don't want that, and we also don't want to contaminate our bottle, like the liquid inside of our bottle. So let's do 3 or less passes on each nail. Sometimes it's okay to do 4 on the thumb if you have a big thumb like me. Okay, and then right when you kind of start to see that the dip liquid kind of like wrinkle, it'll kind of go from shiny to matte. It is time to go back in with your second pass of top coat. The second pass makes everything super glossy and shiny. Okay, and on this one you don't have to be so quick. You know, if there's little areas you missed, you know, you can take your time and do a little bit more. Okay, and then, you know, make sure you're capping your free edge, the very edge of your nail. And yeah, we're going to do this for all of our fingers and then we are done. So, did you like this clear to glitter ombre? Have you done an ombre before? Please let me know down below. I'd be so excited to hear. This is my first actual clear to glitter ombre and I'm loving it. All right. Okay, so I will leave everything in the link down below. You can find all of Dipomania's, you know, liquids, powders at dipomania.com. And until next time, I'll see you later, my friends. Bye.